Hey guys, it's Anna and welcome to my channel. Today I wanted to do a bit of a perfume roundup, feature recent fragrances that have been sent my way. I like to do these videos every once in a while to review some new stuff and give you guys my thoughts on new scents that you might see popping up. But I did want to start with a couple that I purchased myself. The first one being a body mist from Sol de Janeiro. This is the Brazilian Crush Cheirosa 40. I recently picked this up during the Amazon Prime Day deal. I know this line of body mists is incredibly popular. What intrigued me about this one is actually one of my coworkers. This is her signature scent. She's like, I get so many compliments on this one. She came in one day on her day off and I'm like, girl, you smell so good. And she's like, it's the Sol de Janeiro 40. She's like, I can't tell you how many bottles I've gone through. And I had briefly smelled this in Sephora, but not given it a proper test. I think this is a fantastic fragrance mist. This is not your typical cheapy body mist. It smells actually quite elegant in my opinion and just really pretty. On my coworker, I got a lot of vanilla, a lot of like a warm, fruity vibe. What I didn't expect was the similarity to Zaharoff's Dama Bianca, which, if you know, is an expensive high-end niche fragrance. And I think that Dama Bianca is one of the most elegant, sophisticated vanilla perfumes you could get. Where they differ is, of course, the longevity and the performance. This does have an intimate sillage. It sits close to the skin, and I get about 4 hours out of this one. You definitely need to overspray. I mean, it is a fragrance mist. So Dama Bianca clearly takes the win in terms of performance, but it's also way more expensive than this. So if you like the scent profile, I would just go for whatever is more important to you. Where they differ, I do get more of a violet powdery quality in Dama Bianca. And this one I find is also a little bit more sweet, and this has definitely, like I said previously, this warm sweet fruitiness from the plum. And what I like about the plum in here is that it isn't such a dark, heavy, thick plum. This is definitely your spring, summer kind of scent where I see plum featured in a lot of fall, winter fragrances. Definitely more purple florals in Dama Bianca, and then it does have that distinct kumquat note, which makes it very unique. But this is musky like Dama Bianca. It smells like a very similar type of powdery vanilla. They both feature a jasmine note and then some woody notes just in the base. I think if you have a tight budget and you don't mind overspraying, you don't mind taking this with you, I think this is a fantastic option. This one does smell a little bit more playful. Dama Bianca definitely more refined, but I really love this scent. I think they did an excellent job making a fragrance mist smell more expensive than what you might typically get when it comes to body mists. So I'm gonna give this to one of my sisters because she's been obsessing over the Sol de Janeiro line, and I do already own Dama Bianca, but this has my stamp of approval. I love it. And then the other one that I bought, this was a complete blind buy. This is from, I believe it's pronounced Arabiyat Prestige, could be wrong. And this is called Blueberry Musk. Presentation is beautiful, especially at this price point. This is a very affordable fragrance. And I have my eyes peeled for the note of blueberry. Anytime I see it, I'm immediately intrigued. My first impressions of this were not good. Unfortunately, it just smelled very screechy, synthetic, and cheap to me, just like a fruity synthetic blend, simple composition, and it was just an immediate no for me. However, letting it sit for a couple weeks, it has gotten a lot better compared to that initial experience. It is now much more juicy. I'm getting way more of a blueberry experience mixed with blackberry and raspberry, but of course primarily a juicy blueberry. It's still a simpler composition, but I now can pick up a bit of a rose note in the background. Still not a personal love for me. I prefer something a bit more refined, a little bit more complex. Now that it's macerated and sat for a while, it really does just smell like a juice to me, basically. I will say performance is very weak with this one. Intimate sillage, I get about 2 hours. Now moving on to PR, I just wanted to say thank you to all of the brands that send products my way. It is always appreciated, but they do know that my priority lies with you guys and giving my honest thoughts always. So this fragrance is from E.P.C, and this is called Beige Santal. So when it comes to E.P.C, they have 2 different fragrance collections. The first being their essential collection, and then their signature collection, in which they combine fragrances from the essential collection. So for example, Beige Santal is a mix of 3 of their essential fragrances. It has 1 part of their bergamot incense fragrance, 5 parts jasmine osmanthus, and 2 parts sandalwood musk. And I believe you can also create your own mixture using the fragrances featured in their essential collection. So Beige Santal, the name is a bit deceiving because obviously you would figure that this is going to be prominently a sandalwood fragrance. It is not. Like I said earlier, this is exactly 5 parts of their jasmine osmanthus blend. So this is mainly a warm, summery, spring, creamy floral fragrance with a sandalwood musk just in the background and as the base layer. So when you first spray this fragrance, that's where you're going to get that initial blast of a bergamot note. You're getting this fresh, crisp, a little green, citrusy quality, and that opening experience is very brief. Going into the dry down, you're introduced to jasmine, frangipani, osmanthus. I'm definitely prominently getting those florals first and foremost. It's very bright and warm, and only in the background as the base, as I said, we have a dry sandalwood, a bit of pink pepper, and a hint of vetiver. So personally, although this is a part of their signature collection combining 3 different of their essential fragrances, this is not a complex scent in my opinion. It's for the most part those warm, summery, creamy florals. I find this overall to be likable, but it also doesn't strike me. It doesn't have this exotic, addictive factor to it that I search for in my warm, tropical, summer floral fragrances. It just doesn't personally give me this wow factor. If you are curious about my preferred fragrances from the brand, I would recommend Tonka Extraordinaire, very warm, cozy gourmand, but I would recommend that for people who enjoy nutty qualities in their fragrances, which isn't quite me, but I will say that that is one of the best that I've tried in that category. It's almond, sesame, hazelnut, vanilla, tonka, a little bit powdery with an ambery base. That one's nice for fall and winter. And then the other one being cardamom moss. It has a very nice, warm, buttery caramel note, a little bit woody, unisex. Because the caramel does have a bit of a buttery quality, it's not 100% for me, but I do think it's really good. I'm sorry, I'm so picky. I'd say, those 2 would be my top picks from the brand. The next fragrance is from Maison d'Aba, and this is Sovereign. This one I really like. This is a unisex fall winter scent. But definitely leaning masculine, I would say. This is in the same family as Juicebox Beat Cafe. So if you like those deep, rich tobacco fragrances with spice, booze, it's ambery, woody. It definitely has this dark ambiance kind of feel to it. Perfect for a night out. Smells very dressed up, polished. I was curious how this fragrance was going to smell because there are notes of coconut, peach, and mandarin. So I thought maybe there'd be this fruity cocktail spin to it. In my opinion, those notes are very quiet, and I'm only experiencing a bit of this citrus burst just in the opening, with a little bit of like a musky, fuzzy peach quality also just in the opening, not in a juicy, ripe, or sugared kind of way. This is overall, like I said, a very dark fragrance. This also performs. I sprayed this on, I showered, tried to scrub this off at the end of the day, and it still would not come off. I think this is going to be a hit for a lot of men and women who enjoy more bold, tobacco, woody, spiced amber scents. Definitely smells like a sibling to Beat Cafe, so I think this is a really good one. I will say I do wish the cap was heavier and a bit better quality. Like, this is a light plastic. The bottle itself is very heavy, very nice, thick glass, and I think the scent itself is really nice. This next fragrance I think is a beautiful option for the gentleman. It really does smell like a gentleman. This is Atrium Fragrance Mr. Romantic, and this was created by Omar, School of Scent, here on YouTube as well. I find this to be such a likable fragrance DNA. This is very smooth, inviting, comforting. It's very balanced overall. It opens up with a fresh green, a little bit spicy quality. So we have a chamomile note in here. I do detect like a smooth chamomile tea paired with that cardamom, a fresh, crisp neroli, and a nice lavender. It's not too harsh. And what I really love about this scent is just the underlying soft bit of sweetness that gets introduced the longer this sits on your skin as it dries down. It's that perfect amount of vanilla, not too sweet, but enough to make you want to come closer. There's a warmth coming through from the amber, sandalwood, a clean musk. I think this works year round, could make a great signature scent. And yeah, we'll do the job for any upcoming dates you have. It's a very enjoyable, fresh, cozy DNA. It'll work in a lot of different scenarios. And I can see both guys who are newer into the fragrance world enjoying this, as well as niche lovers. And I get about 5 hours out of this one with a more intimate sillage. Next up, we have Micallef GnTonic. As per usual, Micallef does not miss when it comes to packaging. And you know, I think when it comes to recreating the experience of a gin and tonic and turning it into a fragrance, they did just that. This does smell very masculine to me. This has a prominent green, fresh, spicy quality. A lot of fresh greenery. We have spicy mint, moss, cypriol, loads of citrus with the lime. Sometimes citrus notes are quick to fade away. Not in here. I can smell this on Eric for like 7-8 hours with a moderate projection. It's also very dry, woody, prominently from the cedar and vetiver. I do experience some of that white floral lily of the valley, also bringing in a fresh, dew-covered green quality. Pink pepper and ginger. If you are not down with a ginger note, I don't think this fragrance will be for you, because it really does have that prominent zesty quality to the scent. If you want to smell like a gin and tonic for the spring and summer, I would recommend sampling this. It's very fresh, cooling. The only reason this isn't for me is because that tonic water note does bother me. That note in particular just comes off harsh and sharp to me. So overall, I like this scent, but that one note does bother me and keeps me from loving it, because it does provide a dry, bitter quality, strong, fizzy, intense. So I do recommend sampling it, but maybe that note won't bother you and you want to smell like a gin and tonic. Next fragrance, Mind Games Castling. This came as a huge surprise for me, because this does have a prominent note of fig, and I usually can't stand the note of fig. I will be honest, I will put it out there. It's not a love for me, this scent, but I do like it, which is shocking for me. I think the reason I enjoy this scent, it's actually a fig leaf note, is that it does have a coconutty quality to it. Fig can sometimes have a coconut vibe, and it definitely pulls in that direction, while I'm also able to clearly pick out that there is fig in here. But it's the way that this is blended, the pairing with the other notes in here smells so incredibly clean, fresh, and elegant. I've seen Elizabeth Grace talk about this multiple times, so every single time I pull for this, I think of her, and she is the epitome of elegance, so it makes me think that perhaps it could rub off on me a little bit. But this has the most calming, tranquil, almost spa-like vibe to it by the beach. It's very creamy, comforting. There's definitely a prominent powdery quality to this fragrance from the iris note. There's a fresh, crisp freesia, and the sea salt paired with the lotus and this coconutty fig is a really beautiful mix. The sandalwood is ultra smooth and creamy. There's just a hint of this vanilla note. This is not a very sweet fragrance, but it just softens it a bit. It smells like you're wearing a freshly laundered white linen cord by this beach resort club. There are fresh figs on display in this large rustic bowl, and a server walks up to you and they offer you coconut water, chilled, freshly gathered this morning. It's a vibe, very chic. It's nice, you know? So if any fragrance is going to bring me into the world of fig, it's going to be Castling. So like I said, it is a like for me because of that particular note, but I do think that this is the most beautiful fig fragrance that I have experienced to date. And I'm holding on to this because it continues to grow on me bit by bit. Also, Eric complimented me on this. I was wearing this one night. We were sitting next to each other on the couch, and he like scooches closer to me, puts his head right here to smell my neck, and he's like, "You smell so pretty right now." Well, that'll do it, you know? I also think this would be beautiful paired with other woody or coconut fragrances. And performance is really good with this one as well. I get about 8 hours with moderate projection. This was sent to me by So Avant-Garde. I chose it, picked it out. On a 10 will get you 10% off on the Mind Games website. Then from room 1015, we have 1015, and this is one of my top favorites from the house, along with Cherry Punk. This has a similarity to Atelier Cologne Santal Carmen. I really like both of the fragrances, but this has more presence to it, and I really love the addition of a mandarin note in the opening. They both have this incredibly airy saffron. It definitely feels like there's an overall transparent kind of feel to this fragrance, and the sandalwood is very creamy and also has a bit of this like crisp paper-like quality to it. It also definitely has a similarity to Fleur's Somebody Would. It's powdery, soft, cozy, and comforting. In the opening and mid, I feel like I'm picking up on this sugar cube note paired with the sandalwood, powdery, purple florals, and saffron. The opening and mid, I am absolutely in love with. In the deep dry down, like about 5 hours later, I get this lactonic, creamy quality, definitely from the sandalwood. And I can be picky when it comes to lactonic profiles. That's usually not quite for me. So it transitions from a love to a like. And it's in the dry down that it then really reminds me of Zadig and Voltaire, This Is Her. So if you like that kind of lactonic, creamy, whipped sandalwood, I think you would love 1015. Smooth fragrance, moderate projection and longevity with this one, and I would describe this as unisex leaning feminine. I would say that this falls into like the Your Skin But Better category. Really beautiful offering from the brand. This last one is from Ormonde Jayne. This is Sakura, full packaging, but I did of course sample beforehand. I was interested in this one because I've been seeing it featured a lot lately on several creators' platforms. It seems like everyone is recommending it and loving it. I was not only drawn in from the reviews, but obviously the beautiful ombre pink bottle. When it comes to this house, I have noticed that their style is very much so more classic perfumery, more in general mature scent profiles, and this to me definitely falls within that category of a more mature classic floral profile. I also don't personally pick up on any sweetness, which I was really hoping for a little bit of that. I saw the notes of vanilla and tonka bean in the base, and I was really hoping that those would come through, but I really don't pick them up at all. So I personally don't pick up on any kind of sweetness apart from the natural way florals come across. This is very floral, green, fresh, spicy, particularly peppery. I'm getting dry cedar and a punchy citrus quality. So it's not personally my scent profile, but they did send me several discovery sets, which I really appreciate. And there were several that piqued my interest. So I will definitely feature other Ormonde Jayne fragrances in future videos. So to conclude this video, I would like to give away the following fragrances: Sakura 1015. If anyone happens to be interested in one of these perfumes, even if something isn't 100% to my taste, I know there are others out there who do love them. This will be a US giveaway due to shipping costs, but I do have an international giveaway coming very soon. To enter, make sure you're subscribed, like the video, and comment down below letting me know which one you'd be interested in. And then in a week, I will comment underneath the winners' names, letting you know you've won, and then I will then pin the winners' names as a top comment down below. And then we will go from there to get these sent over to you. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't already. If you want to see me in any more videos, I'd appreciate it so, so much. I hope you guys are having an amazing day, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.